What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So I think it's gonna be one of those situations where it's like I told you so. And I'm still surprised not too many people up until now may have been like, wait a minute, what's this about? This is a surprise to me. I don't understand what's going on. So when we first got news that they were going to do a Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot, I think the very first reports were that Sarah Michelle Gellar, she's coming back to the series. They finally convinced her. And for years, she had said, not coming back, not doing it. Then that tone started to change a couple years ago, where then it was, if the right story, if the right script is done, then it's a possibility. Then apparently, all of a sudden, earlier this year, late last year, the right story, the right script, the stars aligned, and she was on board. And it was immediate. Everyone was saying she's coming back to the reboot. She's going to be starring in it. And I did a video on it. I was like, hey, this is a bit of a surprise to me. And I was skeptical. That I don't know if she's really going to be the one coming back, because she's got so much other things on her plate that she is doing, on top of producing another TV series, which she actually is going to be starring in. Around the same time this Buffy reboot would be happening, she was involved behind the scenes, I guess, supposedly with the Legacy sequel for I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is already done and wrapped up and will be coming this summer, which we already know is going to be just a carbon copy of the 1997 film that we've already received. So no changes there whatsoever. But here we are. We just and then I think in March. So before we get to this new article, in March, it then came out. Oh no, she will be guest starring. And in the script or in some of the casting details, they had noticed that they were going to be casting a new lead, a new Buffy, so to speak, and she would just be guest starring. And I think myself and maybe one other content creator out there caught this article and did a video on it saying, hey, why isn't anyone talking about this? Everyone's been talking about the reboot, how excited they are that she's going to be returning, how excited they are for the reboot, but no one caught on to the fact that this article came out in mid-March saying she's just guest starring. Well, here we are mid-May, and we now have confirmation. Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot finds new Slayer in Ryan Kiera-Armstrong. So I think it's pretty much safe to say, unless this article is going to say something completely different and that headline was clickbait, I think it's safe to say Sarah Michelle Gellar more than likely is going to be a guest star. And I'm guessing and I'm thinking it's going to be a guest star type role, very similar to what she was doing for Dexter Original Sin. She had a very, very small role in that. And when the parts that she did have, the scenes that she did have, were only maybe a minute to 2 minutes tops. She wasn't in the show all that much. And then there were even some episodes she wasn't even in them, period. I'm thinking that's going to be the part she's going to play. You're going to have this new cast of characters, this new Slayer, and they're going to somehow fit into the story where they have to go to Sarah Michelle Gellar's character and seek help or seek guidance, or she's going to show up when this boss monster or whatever shows up that they can't defeat, then she's going to come out of the shadows and be in the episode for 10 or 15 minutes, and you won't see her again for another 3 or 4 episodes. I'm thinking that's the type of role it's going to be played here. So let's jump into the article details as we always do and see what the new update is. Into every generation, a Slayer is born. In this generation, the new Slayer for Hulu's Buffy the Vampire Slayer is Firestarter and Skeleton Crew star Ryan Kiera-Armstrong. The announcement came from the original series Slayer, Sarah Michelle Gellar, who broke the news to Armstrong in a touching video and will reprise her iconic role as Buffy Summers. Again, I don't think it's going to be as big of a reprisal as many people are thinking it's going to be. Watch the video below, which sees her asking Armstrong to fight by her side to save the world in the upcoming pilot for Hulu, with Armstrong breaking down in tears from excitement. It was previously reported that the Buffy Vampire Slayer reboot will focus on a new Slayer that was described as a cerebral 16-year-old named Nova, likely a placeholder. Skewing more Willow than Buffy, the character is described as a very smart and a bit of a loner. Now this bit right here, this information didn't come out until the information came out that Sarah was going to be guest starring. This wasn't originally released when this reboot was announced and that she was going to be returning to the role. They left this part out. Again, this wasn't reported until they said, oh, well, she's in fact just going to be a guest star. There's going to be a new Slayer that we're going to be casting. So they didn't lead off with that when they broke this news. The new Slayer's friends will include Hugo, an out and proud nerd who comes from money, and Gracie, a young vampire expert who's an acolyte of Buffy. However, casting has yet to be announced for either role. With this new key casting in place, expect that to change soon. Quote, from the moment I saw Ryan's audition, I knew there was only one girl that I wanted by my side, Gellar said in a statement. To have that kind of emotional intelligence and talent at such a young age is truly a gift, or I think they meant to say truly a gift. The bonus is that her smile lights up even the darkest room. Nora and Lila Zuckerman wrote the pilot, and Chloe Zhao is set to direct and executive produce. Gellar is also set to executive produce. Additional executive producers, we have more names about producers. And then who created the original series, how long it ran for. This is the video. We're not going to watch this video. If you want to watch the video, I'll put the link for this article in the description of the video below, so you can come back and watch this video. I think it was probably posted on Instagram. Yeah, looks like it was posted on Instagram from Sarah Michelle Gellar's account. So if you want to go watch that video, you can do so. And that's the end of the article. So again, they got their new Slayer casted. We're still waiting to cast the other two main characters or supporting characters, actors, actresses for this role. But again, I don't think, I think it's gonna be a guest role. I think it's gonna be very much like the role she played in Dexter Original Sin. I don't see this being a big series for her. She's got so many other projects that she's working on. I'm not saying that she's going to just kind of keep this to the side, but I think she's going to take more of a backseat producer role, more of a backseat kind of consulting guidance role, and will pop up here and there. I could probably see her in the first or second episode and maybe start to tailor off in more very minor minute, 2-minute cameos throughout the rest of the series, and to allow this new Buffy or new Slayer, so to speak, shine, right? I think that's going to be the whole purpose of this. Obviously, they want this new reboot to be successful and probably have a long run like the original series. I do think the hardcore fans will come out to see this. It's just a matter of, will the hardcore fans stick around to support it for the long term? We'll have to wait and see. So anyways, that's going to do it for this horror news update. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this casting for the new Slayer, for the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot. We don't have a date yet when this is coming out. I would guess probably sometime in mid-late 2026 at the earliest. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. Later.